I wouldn't do something like that. And I've had that on many of occasions. So when I hear my daughter talk and she's like, Mom, she's telling me about her friendship issues. And, we all play a role. I always say that.
Yes.
I always say I'm not a victim. I'm a participant. But because I didn't pick up on these things, the red flags, just like dating, friendships, and social things. Red flags, yes. I didn't pick up on the red flags, or I brushed them under the rug, or I didn't address things in the moment, or I didn't, audit my circle and continue to let people into spaces that they shouldn't have been in, opportunities that they shouldn't have been involved in. So that's how I played a role and was a participant and not necessarily a victim.
So you were being a good person.
Basically.
And not recognizing that other people don't have the same intentions.
Correct.
But I feel like that's one of the drawbacks about being a good, free-spirited person is it took me into my 30s being like, yo, not everybody is nice. Not everybody's a girl. Like, I got to exist with that naivete for 30 plus years, never being bullied, like, until my 30s. And I'm like, oh my God, there are people out here that were raised by wolves. They mamas were street fighters and their grandmothers toted pistols. I'm like, I don't know that life. Not that things were soft or necessarily easy, but just seeing that there's a certain level of womanness that exists out there.
I've never had those kind of feelings toward anyone. Like, I've never been jealous. Maybe like a jealous, like, dang, I got to get my stuff together. Like you said, like, it pushes you to be better, like that. But never envious, never wanting someone to fail.
Yeah.
Never wanting to see them do bad. Even my worst enemy, I'm like, wish you well.
Stay away from me.
Hope you heal.
But I hope you heal. Stay over there, but hope you heal.
That's it.
Right.
Like, I don't want them to do, I never had that kind of, so to know that I had people close to me who felt that way, like, oh.
That want to see you burn.
Yeah.
That's unimaginable.
Those words were actually used before. Yes, toward me. Actually, about me and my partner's relationship. It was like, oh, I can't wait till this burns. and this is an immediate circle person. And it's like, for you, it took 30 something years. For me, I was 40. And I'm like, dang, you could have someone that close to you hate you that much, that the second there's a misunderstanding, they're going to show you how they
So
really
do
feel.
they actually hate you, or are their feelings a projection of what they are missing in themselves? Because there are some people, and I feel like I'm so self-aware. There are some people, some relationships that I've had where the things that they have gained and acquired have made me feel like there's things missing in me. But I didn't turn that into hate. I'm just like, okay.
You didn't act negatively on it.
I didn't. You and I were talking about it. I was telling you about my homegirl. She had 2 failed engagements. And I got engaged. And she told me straight up, she was like, Naja, I'm not going to be able to really participate because I still have these feelings. And she was like, I'm hurting. Like, I'm really hurting right now. And I love you, but I just can't be around it. And I'm just like,
imagine being able to express that.
I didn't get mad at her. We sat, because I was with her, helping her with the brokenheartedness of what she had faced. So I understood, and I was like, sis, go over there and take your space, because I don't want to be a person that triggers you.
Right.
And so as adults, we were able to come in our relationship as friends to be like, okay. And she came back around when she could.
Opposed to acting weird.
As opposed to acting weird.
Just being able to say that so like I said, going back to this being for girls and young women, when I'm talking to my daughter, who is now 18 going on 19.
She's a young lady now.
Yes, about picking up on behaviors kind of like this. Yeah. Like, if a friend can't sit with you and say, this about you triggers an insecurity in me. Instead of saying to you, oh, you think you're this and you're just this. Now, sometimes if we are being crappy to people, we need accountability. Yeah. Point blank, period. Like, you're just not a nice person to me. And being able to be told that is one thing. But someone constantly throwing daggers at you about what you should be, what you should do, what you're not, what you think you are, is huge red flags. And this is what I'm explaining to my daughter. Like, pick up on this now and get these people away from you, because friends don't behave this way. Friends can hold you accountable without, like, breaking you down.
Right.
Like, you don't want that. You don't want someone to break you down in the process of just holding you accountable. Yeah. So I'm like, a space like this is what you just said It's what girls need to hear,
That's
what
what they
women
need
need
to
to hear, because you'll end up, sadly, like me, 40 years old, and you're finding out
There's snakes around you and you didn't even know it. They
That-
know your personal business. They know intimate secrets. They
It's scary.
now have weapons that they can come back around and use to hurt you with. I think one of the things for me is I have a lot of good long-term girlfriendships. Like they're my sisters now.
So are you no new friends type?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely. You and I have only known each other.
And that's actually the next thing.
Yeah,
I had to talk to you about.
No, you know what? I'll say this also. I welcome good human beings. I feel like when you're a good person, you attract really good people, but then you also attract the succubuses and the users and the envious people. But I pride myself on being a good, honest person. Yeah. And, that's one of the things that I would say to anybody that's out there watching is internally, innately, are you good? What are your intentions?
Internally.
Yes.
Not for face value.
Not for face value. Are you good? Do you have an innate thing within you? And most people are going to say yeah, because we can't recognize those ugly things about ourselves.
Right.
We should be able to. Lord knows I can. I know you can.
Yeah.
You're very transparent with being like, yo, I need this.
Yes.
But you have to find friends that see the world like you do and that define friendship. How do you define friendship?
Honestly, for me, I'm like you. I don't use a timeline to define friendship. For me, friendship is how you make me feel.
Yeah.
And I don't mean like you doing something for me.
Yeah.
But do I feel safe with you? Do I feel vulnerable with you?
Can you be vulnerable with me?
That part.
Yeah.
Can it? Do I feel I have a space for growth?
Yeah.
And not judgment with you? To me, that is friendship. That's how I now have learned to, because before I thought that friendship meant it had to be the people that I've known since childhood.
Yeah.
It had to be historical. That meant as a friend because I knew this person for 25 years. That's my friend.
When I was in Girl Scouts, we would say, make new friends, but keep the old. One is silver, but the other is gold.
Wow.
And that just always stuck with me. But, I think about how we define friendships. And I didn't learn until later on that you do need to make sure the people that you call friends, all of your relationships need a definition. Meaning, some people say, you're my friend if we talk twice a week. You're my friend if you answer the phone every time I call. You're my friend if you let me borrow money. You're my friend if I could dump all my stuff on you. But then do I define it the same way? What if I only want to text and you don't call me a friend? We define our romantic relationships. Like, for example, some people would say a romantic relationship would mean that we're exclusive, that we're working toward a larger goal. Perhaps we want to get engaged, married, or something like that. So I feel like in our friendships, do you define it the same way I do? Because I've run into some issues with that. Yeah. Some girls would be like, "Oh my God, I'm talking every day. You going out with me?" I'm like, "No, I'm married and I'm tired. Like I got low iron. I ain't trying to go out all the time."
You got to know your friend.
Yes, know yourself and just make sure that we are on the same page as that. Because what your daughter is dealing with now, she's probably meeting all these people that are coming from different walks of life all over the country because she's a college student now, and some of them are probably clingy. Some are not. Some are users. Some people will say, "You're only my friend if you do things for me."
Some are very opinionated.
And does she like that? Well, I don't want to tell your daughter's business.
Right. No. But it's because she is me. Then, so it's like now I get to talk to this person and give them the blueprint to get ahead of stuff like this before it drags on out into adulthood and older adulthood.
Yep.
And you're dealing with issues at 40 where your reputation can be on the line because of behaviors that you didn't get ahead of when you were 19. That you didn't pick up on.
When have you felt a reputation attack?
Ooh, I feel like the first occasion, I haven't historically been like in positions where I feel like for years I didn't care. And then as kids, credentials, business came along, I started to care more.
You had something to lose.
Right. So now it's like, now I'm mindful of what people think. When once upon a time, I said that to myself, I'm like, once upon a time, I didn't even care. Before Facebook or Instagram, I didn't care. I didn't care what people thought. And even in the very beginning. So once I started to gain what you say, like a public persona, it's like I cared more about what people think, and now I have a reputation to protect.
Your social capital is rising,
Right.
and you got to protect that.
But not only did I learn that, people around me learned that. And actually, I think they learned it more and before I did. They knew my power before I knew my power, before I even recognized it. Ooh. And it was a goal to stop that before it got any bigger or better than it was. And that's when I realized my reputation was being attacked. I'm like, and it's crazy to me because it's one thing when it's strangers. You know how you see celebrities online and strangers say these things, and you're just like, whatever, you don't know me from a hole in the wall. But when you have actual people close to you
that have access to you,
and like you say, you thought that you could pour out, you know, you could be vulnerable, you could share like very personal things, and then those things are used and weaponized against you. I'm just like, and now your reputation is on the line because they decide to, you know, attack it.
Do you confront them when you hear the things or notice the things that they're doing?
So this is also what I want to teach girls and young women. I'm taking accountability for not, like I said, I went through these transitions. And to me, that's a part of friendship, is my definition of friendship. People who have sustained the friendship through all your shifts, like all your changes, up, down, rocky. Those people who were there for all versions of Danisha are friends to me. Like they weren't just there because I was the comfortable Danisha that they were used to, or they weren't just there because now I'm the successful Danisha. Like no matter what type of Danisha showed up, those people who were there the whole time are friends to me. So what I know of myself is that there was a version of me that addressed everything.
Okay.
You could blink wrong and I would address it. And it didn't benefit me the way that I reacted.
That's got to be exhaustive too, for you and the receiver.
It was exhausting. It was the consequences. You know, it's like you can't behave that way. Especially at one point in my life, I was very physical. It was I always use Lilo and Stitch. I'm like, Lilo reminds me so much of myself, especially that scene where she pounded on the little girl. And I'm like, this was me for so long. It was like, it was so much anger built in me too, you know, from trauma and childhood. So my reaction to you, I was never really a talker or arguer. It was just, I'm going to smack living daylights out of you. And I did that. I did that for so long. I want to say the last time I reacted that way was like college.